Do you think investing is only for the wealthy? Think again. In this video, I'll break down the basics so investing isn't scary or confusing. And I'll show you how you can get started no matter how small your budget. Hi, my name is Gaurav, and for the past 15 years, I've been simplifying financial strategies for people just like you. I got my MBA in finance from UBC, and I've got you covered. Before we start, I'd like you to understand a concept called the bucket and a fuel. Yes, you heard me right, a bucket and a fuel. Investments in Canada or for any country, for what I've seen, involves a bucket and a fuel. Let me explain. What are buckets and what do they do? Buckets are basically investment accounts and they decide how you pay taxes on your investments. The major type of buckets in Canada are RSPs, RESPs, TFSAs, RDSPs, non-registered, UL whole lives, FHSA, LIRAs, RIFs. I've covered each one of them in depth in different videos if you'd like to take a deeper look. Let me give you an overview here so you understand what I mean. Let's start with the most popular one, RRSPs, also known as Registered Retirement Savings Plans. They're basically used to save for retirement. So when you put money into an RRSP, you get a tax deduction, which is a fancy word of saying the government gives you a tax break. Another way to think of it is the government gives you the money back because they are not taxing you on the money that you were putting into an RRSP. Now, when you invest your money in an RRSP, you grow your money in a tax deferred way, which is a fancy word of saying you can grow your money inside the bucket without paying taxes as long as the money is inside the RSP bucket. When you withdraw money, you will have to pay taxes on all of the amount or what you invested plus all of the growth that will get added to your earned income and you pay taxes on that. The limit or the size of the bucket of an RRSP is 18% of your last year's earned income to a maximum of 31,560 in 2024. So if it means if you made $100,000, you can add $18,000 into your RRSP. However, if let's say you made $1 million, you can't put $180,000 because that would be subject to a maximum of 31,560. If you have the previous room that you haven't used, it gets added to your new year's RRSP limit. The next bucket, a TFSA, also called a tax-free savings account. The purpose of a tax-free savings account, you can use the money for whatever purpose you wish to. When you put your money inside a TFSA, you don't get any tax deduction. You can grow the money inside a TFSA tax-free, and the best part, you can withdraw all the money in a tax-free way. Every year, CRA sets a limit irrespective of your income. You only need to be a tax resident of Canada and 18 years old to start accumulating the limit. If you'd like to know what your limit is, you can check your notice of assessment or call CRA. Also, if you did not use your limit last year, it gets added next year. Another bucket is called an RESP, Registered Education Savings Plan. This is usually used to save for a child's post-secondary education. You don't get any tax deduction when you put your money into an RESP. However, the government will add grants depending on your qualification. How the grants work and how to maximize them, I'll cover in another video. You can grow the money in an RRSP in a tax deferred way. And when you withdraw, there are two ways you can withdraw the money. One is for education purpose. If the money is withdrawn for education, your principal is tax-free. The growth and the grants will be taxed in the child's hand. But usually children are not making a lot of money, so they don't pay too much taxes. What if your child doesn't go to school? You can withdraw your principal tax-free. The grants have to go back to the government, and the growth, you will pay taxes and a 20% penalty. There are ways you can avoid the 20% penalty, but again, I'll cover that in another video. The limit is a $50,000 lifetime limit per beneficiary. A non-registered account. Sometimes a non-registered account is also called a cash account at some financial institutions. You use this bucket for general investing outside registered plans. There is no tax benefit when you put your money into a non-registered investment. When you grow the money in a non-registered account, you end up paying taxes on the investment income, whether it's interest, dividends, or capital gain. If you notice you're getting a T5 slip from your banks, your money is generally in a non-registered account. Most Canadians have their savings accounts in a non-registered account, which is why they end up getting a T5 slip that calendar year. So during the calendar year, if you have GICs or savings accounts and you got interest income, or you held some stocks and you sold them, you get some capital gains, or you held some shares and you got dividends on those, you get a dividend income, all of that becomes taxable that calendar year. Any capital gains up to $250,000, the inclusion rate is 50%. Anything beyond $250,000, the inclusion rate is 66.7%. Corporations and trust, entire capital gain is inclusion rate is 66.7%. What does an inclusion rate mean? It is the percentage of the capital gains that will get added to your income on what you'll end up paying taxes on. You can put as much money as you want in a non registered account, there is no limit. Another account is a cash value life insurance, such as a universal life or a whole life insurance. When you invest your money into this account, you do not get any tax reduction. You get to grow your money in a tax deferred way. Three ways you can end up withdrawing the money from these accounts. One, you can take a cash withdrawal. Second, you can take a policy loan. Third, you can take a collateral loan. You also get life insurance with this bucket. So, God forbid, if something were to happen to you, your family would get the life insurance benefit, and if structured properly, also the growth of your investments completely tax free. The limit of this account is based on the insurance that you will qualify for financially and medically. Another account is an RDSP, Registered Disability Savings Plan. This is a long-term savings plans for people with disabilities. The contributions are not tax deductible. However, when you invest into this account, you get grants and bonds additionally from the government. You can grow them in a tax-free manner. When you withdraw, your contribution is tax-free. Grants, bonds, and growth, you end up paying taxes on. There is a lifetime limit of $200,000 with no annual limit on this account. Another account called LIRA, Locked In Retirement Account, generally is used to hold pension money from your previous employer. It's a bucket in which your previous employer's pension plans keeps adding into. The growth is tax-free, and then when you withdraw the money from a lira, you end up paying taxes on the principal and the growth. There's no limits of a lira because all you're doing is you're transferring your previous employer's pension into this account. It basically works like an RSP, but it's locked in until retirement. Another account is called RRIF, Registered Retirement Income Fund. Your RRSPs, the year you turn 71, have to be converted into a RIF. So basically, your money continues to grow tax-free. However, there is a minimum required distribution, a minimum required withdrawal that you have to make from your RIFs every year, which is based on your age. Another account, FHSA, First Home Savings Account. The purpose of this is generally for someone in Canada buying their first property in Canada. This is an ideal account which combines the benefits of RRSPs and TFSAs into one account. So when you put your money into an FHSA, you get the tax deduction just like an RRSP. You get to grow the money in a tax deferred way. And just like a TFSA, when you withdraw the money, you do not pay taxes. The limit is $8,000 every calendar year. There's many types of buckets that are available to Canadians. Once you decide on the bucket, then you decide on what type of fuel to put into which bucket. There are different types of fuels that are available. There are fuels that are primarily focused on safety, such as a savings account, a checking account, a high interest savings account, a GIC. They will provide you safety, but are limited on the growth. There's also growth-oriented fuels, such as mutual funds, ETFs, index accounts, and stocks. They will provide you possibilities for the growth, but are limited on the safety. And then we have segregated funds, which can offer you a combination of growth and safety. So simply put, for the right bucket selection, you have to understand your tax situation. And for the right fuel selection, you must pay attention to your risk profile. Once you've decided on a bucket and a fuel, that combination is what makes an investment.